It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, and my good friend Gary Franchi from RTR.org. Now, Gary, I want to get right to it. There on Freedom's Phoenix today, we have where you guys put up a contest that you have in support of Dr. Paul, and the prize is some silver. Tell me all about it, man.
Yeah, we just put out the second episode of our new web series called This Week in Paul, where we basically just provide the viewer with a recap of everything Ron Paul's done, media appearances, rallies, speaking engagements, and then, of course, what the grassroots are doing or saying. And just to, for the people on the run that want that really concise snapshot in a fast-paced format, they can get it all right there in about, less than 15 minutes. So, and then, of course, I provide my interjections and some light commentary based on the media spin that I can see, and sort of deflect some of the stupid, retarded statements that come out of the mouths of some of these corporate pundits. So that's what we do. That's what we're doing with this new show called This Week in Paul. So I decided, what the heck? It's our second episode. Let's have some fun. And anyone that goes ahead and comments on the YouTube channel, anyone that you have to follow these three steps. You have to comment, you have to subscribe to the channel, and you have to share the video to be able to enter into the contest. And what we'll do is we have a little system where we can isolate all the comments, all the people who comment on the video, and the system will automatically pick a random commenter, and then we check to see if that commenter actually shared it and is a subscriber to the channel. And then we're going to send them a 1-ounce Ron Paul silver medallion that we created back in 2008 as a Campaign for Liberty Champion of the Constitution silver 1-ounce piece.
Cool. Now, this, of course, is kind of in conjunction with the promotion of RTR, which is, cool, man. I'm all about promoting, Liberty sites, and that's what we're doing right now. Now, tell me about RTR, and I remember when you first started doing the social networking on it, we've certainly promoted a lot of things that you've shared with people about how it's to be used and so on, but you've made a lot of upgrades and such. But go ahead and tell me how you're hoping for the Dr. Paul Speaking Cycle 2012 that we're going to have this tour is going to be promoted on RTR as a tool. How? What is it that you're offering?
Well, right now, what we've seen immediately, just in the past, I'd say 5 days alone, we haven't had a day where we've dropped under 100 new members signing up. So we're seeing a huge surge in traffic. Now, that could be attributed to the 2012 election cycle. It could be attributed that we do have a very large percentage of Ron Paul supporters on our site. And, of course, we've been doing some live streaming, too. We've been streaming the debates and commentary after the debates as you joined us last week. So people are starting to understand what we're trying to accomplish by providing an alternative media outlet for members of the social network. And it's really just a large community of supporters of Ron Paul, and there are other candidate supporters there. We see people who like, Herman Cain or some other people. And then, of course, some interesting discourse develops and people start to enlighten the other candidate supporters. So you see some interesting exchanges taking place.
I want to talk about that one thing right there. This is
Sure.
this is something that I kind of noticed. I expected to happen. I'm sure you have too. Is that there is a an effort to infect into the social networking around Dr. Paul's effort by people from the left, the right, and so on. And we've seen this before. I'm sure you have also. On your site, there will be someone representing themselves as an Obama supporter or as a Ron Paul supporter, but Obama's good on this, or they try and start little fights and they're trolling around doing whatever. I can see early on that the attempt to try and get Republican-oriented representation for other candidates on sites such as yours and Freedom's Phoenix and Daily Paul and all those kind of oriented towards the libertarian philosophy or Dr. Paul supporters, that they're in there trying to glean some support or bring representation of their candidates, but they're so obvious and they're so without. And I'm just wondering, how much of a flood are you getting from these types of people?
We haven't seen an extreme flood. We did specifically after the debate, because we were streaming the debate, so people were naturally looking for a place to watch it online, and of course we were. So we were getting supporters from all the different candidates showing up. But I haven't seen a massive influx. I mean, occasionally I'll see a couple posts about how much they love this candidate or that candidate, and then promptly somebody will comment and reveal the truth about that candidate, and it's fun to watch. But that's all part of discourse and being American and waking up to what's going on in the country, and that's why RTR provides a great platform for that. One thing that we did notice, a friend of mine had revealed to me, and I saw this in an article on Huffington Post, about how Obama's just recruited the co-founder of Facebook to work into his 2012 campaign. Now, I did some more research and found out that they also worked on his 2008 campaign. So connecting the dots and understanding what I've been seeing on Facebook with members of the Patriot community having groups disabled, links disabled, posts removed, all these different types of activities just gone from Facebook. So the only thing I can draw from that is that since we're moving into a 2012 presidential cycle, it's very easy for people, especially if they're all the way at the top with the Obama administration, to go ahead and, oops, I hit the delete button on accident kind of thing. And before you know it, there's a lot of disruption on Facebook within the Patriot community. So using that, we wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that connection between Obama and Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and Chris Hughes. So after we did that, another massive influx of people started coming into our site because they're just fed up with what they're seeing at Facebook, and they want to have a place where they can communicate and organize effectively for their candidate.
When we come back, I want to focus a little bit more on the mechanism that how it works and what service you have available and how does it compete with Facebook and all of the services that you provide, because it is quite comprehensive. And we've started to do so. I tell you what made me think of you today, in addition to your prize, was Lou Rockwell's blog had something talking about wallet voting and our silver calculators and all that kind of stuff. And I go, yep, here we go. And it exploded today. And we were talking about the first hour. But what happened is we, as part of the rollout of RTR.org, we put linked banners, ads on Freedom's Phoenix, and we opened up our own RTR account for wallet voting. And we need to go in there and start organizing it more and making use of it as we post the stuff. And we'll go ahead and do that. And you can help me out with that and understand it when we come back. And I wanted to, there's a lot of features in how you can do groups. There's a lot of features how you do events. There's a lot of things that I'm not sure that Facebook even has all the features. And I'm wanting to know where Facebook has its path that it's going on, which is to the White House, obviously. And then we have the other side of where RTR.org is going. And what would make one more popular than the other, and what do we got to do to make RTR.org the home of the Love-olution? Along with Freedom's Phoenix, of course. We'll talk about more with Gary Franchi when we come back in just a little bit.